This will be quite an ironic video in some ways, in that I want this to be a video about how sometimes I don't actually want to make a video. So I thought the best way for me to tell you that was to make a video about how I don't want to make. I hope this makes sense as we go along today. I'll fold them up when I get to Melbourne, I promise.
Now, the reason I didn't want to necessarily film this flight is because I don't think there's going to be a lot going on in it. I think it's going to be a fairly uneventful flight back home for me. I'll just do some quick checks. Electrics are all good. Pitot comes off, left bank.
Echo Yankee Zulu, clearance available.
Okay, Zulu, standby 1. I'm not going to take that clearance just in the middle of my run-ups because I don't want to lose my place. Bank checks done, back to 1,000. Everything is set up. Echo Yankee Zulu, ready to copy that clearance, thanks.
Echo Yankee Zulu, clear to Moorabbin via Acme up planned route. Bankstown 8 departure. Climb via the SID to 3,000. Squawk 4003.
I'm going to go to procedures. I'm going to go to departure. Bankstown 8 departure. Yep, back runway. We're going off 11 centre. Load the departure. I'll come off the airport here, round, follow the line, and head out until I get my next information from air traffic control. Alright, let me just get this departure done, and then once we're up in the cruise, hopefully not anywhere near those storm clouds, but once we're up in the cruise, I'll talk to you a bit more.
Yankee Zulu, traffic upwind from the northern runway is making a left circuit. Report passing 1,500. Clear for takeoff.
Copy the traffic and we'll report 1,500. Clear for takeoff. Echo Yankee Zulu. Runway flaps away. 500 feet. I can make the turn. Echo Yankee Zulu passing 1,500.
Yankee Zulu, current departures on 18.4 today.
Oh, departures. Echo Yankee Zulu, yeah.
18.4.
118.4. Echo Yankee Zulu. Sydney departures, Echo Yankee Zulu, departed Bankstown, Bankstown 8 departure, passing 2,100, climbing 3,000.
Echo Yankee Zulu, climb by SID to 5,000.
5 SID 5,000, Echo Yankee Zulu. So now what I'm doing is I'm departing via what they call the SID, the Standard Instrument Departure. That originally gets you up to 3,000 feet. Air traffic controls now said climb via the SID to 5,000, so I'm staying on this heading, 290, yeah, 290, but now I'm climbing to 5,000 feet. That's 1,000 to go. Hopefully at some point they're going to give me a left turn because Melbourne's in that direction over there, and we're heading out towards the mountains and the storms. But yeah, they'll give us a turn over in that direction. There's also some storm clouds over to my left, so it'd be interesting to see how we go. But
Echo Yankee Zulu, cancel SID, clear direct to Acme, maintain 5,000.
Cancel SID, direct Acme, maintain 5,000, Echo Yankee Zulu. So just go direct, Acme, activate, and then I can go to the GPS steering on here, and looking on the moving map here, then that will give me a turn. You can see the aircraft is also making a turn to the left. But I'm being kept at 5,000 feet. There's probably traffic coming into Sydney above me, and when I'm clear of that, then they'll give me a climb up, I would assume. That's what's happening at the moment. But here we go, we're coming to 5,000 feet. My issue at the moment is that there's a cell ahead. I'm never going to be able to get over that one. There are a couple of gaps to the left of it, and I possibly could climb up and go through those, but it's not guaranteed when I'm going to get the climb. Underneath, it doesn't look too bad. Melbourne Centre, Echo Yankee Zulu, currently maintaining 5,000 just to stay under the weather for now.
Echo Yankee Zulu, copied, and just let me know when you want a little bit more. Area QA says 1007.
1007 and Wilco, thanks. Echo Yankee Zulu. I thought I'd make this video though because I do get asked the question sometimes, do I record every single flight I make? The answer is no. Sometimes with people, sometimes with my instructor if I'm doing instructional flights, and sometimes when I'm just like not in the headspace to make a video. But I thought, let me show you one of the flights that I wouldn't normally film, and let me film it, so at least I can kind of visually show you why I don't film these flights. Now, apart from the weather that's up ahead of me at the moment, very little should happen on this flight, and I don't like making those flying videos which are just me sitting in a plane flying. I mean, I used to make some of those in the past, but I think other people do it better than me, and I tend to like, you know, looking for a story and a purpose for my flying, not just, hey, watch me sitting in a plane flying for 26 minutes. But I thought, in maybe a kind of meta way, why don't I make a video to show why I don't sometimes make videos? So we're leaving the Sydney Basin, we're now going over some terrain which isn't very forgiving underneath me, so if anything does happen, I'm actually quite low down, I don't have many options. It's going to be a quick troubleshoot and then probably pulling the chute to get myself safely down onto the ground. I've also got some rain coming out of these clouds above me at the moment. I'm really glad that I didn't climb, because there's no way I would have been able to, as long as that's not hail. No, they're just fairly big drops of rain. I think I can probably go a little bit higher here. Echo Yankee Zulu, request traffic climb 6,000.
Echo Yankee Zulu, now reported outside traffic 6,000.
Echo Yankee Zulu. Also got some little rain showers up ahead. I don't know whether you can see those, which I don't really want to fly through because of the downdraft, so I'm just going to ask for if there's any traffic off to my right and tell him I'm just making some deviations. Echo Yankee Zulu, request traffic up to 10 miles right of track due weather deviation.
Echo Yankee Zulu, just confirm that was 10 left, was it, or 10 left and right?
Just 10 to the right for Echo Yankee Zulu, thanks.
Echo Yankee Zulu, roger, I've got no traffic 10 miles right.
Echo Yankee Zulu, thanks. In these situations where it starts, can you see I'm quiet? In these situations where it starts to get, it's not scary, there's not fear, but it's high concentration. So in these situations, I keep reminding myself that the only reason why I'm up here right now is because I put myself here. I choose to be here. If it means diverting or even landing or just waiting this stuff out, I have to tell myself, that doesn't matter. And then now that we're around it, I can turn my heading maybe back to a heading, let's go 210, I reckon. And you can see it looks a little bit nicer up ahead. One interesting thing here in Garmin Pilot, you can see where the aircraft is at the moment. See, it's in between those two cells. That's not actually accurate, because those two cells are now the ones that were raining over to the left-hand side.
Melbourne information Victor now current.
It just goes to show the delay between receiving the information on the iPad and what's actually happening in the real world. So if I was in cloud and I would have thought, oh, maybe I'll use this to go around the left of them. If I'd have put myself, say, somewhere here, that actually would have been right in where that rain was coming down. So I do use like a weather overlay on my iPad just for a bit of situational awareness. I never ever use it to actually navigate around weather. And the other cool thing about general aviation is I've been spending the weekend in Sydney because my wife and daughter actually flew up yesterday, and I chased them up in Echo Yankee Zulu because they were going to the Harry Styles concert. If any of you went to that as well, I hope you had a great time. Hope you wore your feather bows as well. They loved it. They had a really good time. But then we also decided to stay in Sydney for most of today because today was the last day of World Pride. We opened the curtains in our hotel. We didn't realise this when we booked the hotel, but the Pride March on the final day where everyone gets together and walks through the streets of Sydney went right outside our window.
All the cars down on the freeway that are passing the march down here, they're all hooting their horns.
Brilliant weekend, and it was one of those examples where general aviation and the privilege that we have of being able to do this and flying ourselves around our countries is so cool, because I only decided late in the game that I was going to fly up and meet Jack and my daughter up there in Sydney, and also flying home. I've left now and they've only just taken off because their flight was delayed an hour. And even though they're up there somewhere sipping champagne and I'm down here bashing through the storms, I still know where I'd rather be. I still love having the freedom of choice of deciding when I'm going to leave and exactly which route I'm going to take to get home.
Killing 230 Delta, clear weather now, can track direct, happy.
Everybody is making deviations now. This is an interesting day actually, and I'm not just saying this to like amp up the drama a little bit, but no, seriously, this is an interesting day. It was supposed to be cab okay, basically no significant weather, no significant cloud ceiling to bother us going into Moorabbin today. Looking at the radar, that's what's coming across Melbourne at the moment. There are thunderstorms in the area as well, and behind it over here, that's coming in the same direction as well. So it's going to be interesting as I get closer to Melbourne to see whether I can pick my way through the storms. Oh, we've got a rainbow. That's very fitting, considering it's World Pride at the moment in Sydney. And I just saw a lightning bolt dead ahead exactly in my path.
Stations MS08 for Ghost Victoria has been issued.
What the hell is happening? It's like Victoria's just getting smashed by this storm now. All these weather changes, man. All these weather changes. Oh, you're looking at my watch as well. See the heart symbol at the bottom? That's just gone over 100. My resting heart rate is normally around that kind of mid-50s to mid-60s. It does go up a little bit when I fly because there's a lot more concentration, but interesting, it's gone into the hundreds. It shows that I'm working hard today. Okay, Zulu back on track, tracking direct Horbury.
Okay, Yankee Zulu.
A lot darker up ahead. Oh well, it is what it is. It's clear ahead of us for the moment. We're nice and low as well, so we're underneath anything hopefully, so I'll be able to see it up ahead and go around it if we need to. That looks dark. My strategy for going into Melbourne then is going to be staying as low as I possibly can. If I'm visual and I can see bad weather up ahead, I might even just break off IFR and go down as low as I can to get into Moorabbin. There's no point climbing. I'm not going to be able to outclimb anything today. Low is the name of the game.
Echo Yankee Zulu Centre and confirm that's still visual, sir?
Hey firm, still visual, and we'll be just looking to stay low and visual into Moorabbin as well. Okay, Zulu.
Okay, Yankee Zulu, Roger, is a band of weather moving through, so don't know if that's going to be the case, but let us know.
Understood, thanks. Okay, Zulu. The good thing about maintaining 6,000 feet where I am at the moment is you see that 5,300 there, and then you see the 5,500 under that little cell there, 4,900 and so on and so on. All the lowest safe altitudes on my route now into Moorabbin are below 6,000. So if I do go into weather, I know that I'm safe from terrain below me if I stay on this track. What it does mean though is that I am probably, and as air traffic control just said to me, I'm probably going to fly into weather. I've just got this wall of grey ahead of me, in front of me now, and I'm going to have to start making some decisions on what I'm actually doing. So let's load the approacher into Moorabbin then. So we're going to be doing the 17 and we're going to be going in via Harrow. I'm just going to load that approach because I haven't been given ATC clearance to do that yet. Yuck, 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 yuck. Okay, we're flying through some of the showers now, which means we're getting the downdrafts, which means we're getting thrown around all over the place. There's also 26 knot wind coming from the right hand side there, which is blowing over the hills as well. It's still all okay, but this is still within limits. This is still, you know, we're still on track, right altitude. Aircraft's doing exactly what it should. It's just, it's not very comfortable. Melbourne approach, Echo Yankee Zulu, maintaining 6,000.
Echo Yankee Zulu approach today. Clearance to Moorabbin will be via Harrow, thence the November India for the RMP runway 17 approach. Maintain 6,000 and the local QNH 1003.
I just go into my approach and I make sure I've got Harrow and I just go load approach and activate. And it doesn't actually change anything because if you look on the moving map, we were already going via Harrow, but it just means now what it will do is it will sequence on from Harrow into the RNAV as opposed to taking me on my track back to Moorabbin. I'm a big fan of Eliud Kipchoge, I don't want to just say marathon runner, he's like a superhuman, but he's the world record holder for the marathon. And when he experiences pain during marathons, he always says he smiles.
Less than 200 metres to go. Eliud Kipchoge.
And the smile physically makes him feel better again. So I try and remind myself when you're deep in concentration and the aircraft's moving around and there's a lot happening, smile. Just remember what a luxury and privilege it is to be able to do this. I love being able to do this now on the new Garmin avionics. Not that you can probably see because we're bouncing around so much. 470, and then you can see here I get my minimum set on my altitude tape there on the right hand side.
Echo Yankee Zulu, descend to 4,700, please control airspace descending via the RMP runway 17 left approach. No report or observed traffic.
Clear to leave control area on descent 4,700 for the 17 RNAV approach, Echo Yankee Zulu. Air traffic controller just stepping me down to get me to the altitude where the RNAV starts, which is 4,700. And I can see home. I can see Moorabbin Airport. I can see the flashing light of the tower as well, which is easy to pick out on a grey day like this. Moorabbin Tower, good afternoon, Echo Yankee Zulu, inbound on the 17 RNAV, received Papa, visual, if we can break off 417 right, that would be great.
Echo Yankee Zulu, Tower, g'day, roger, when you're ready, break off, 17 right, you'll be number 1.
Alright, let's break off the approach there.
Echo Yankee Zulu, runway 17 right, clear to land.
17 right, clear to land, Echo Yankee Zulu.
Minimums.
Continue. Home.
Echo Yankee Zulu, taxi to parking.
Taxi to parking, Echo Yankee Zulu, thanks.
Have a good night.
You too, mate, cheers. I think the moral of the story is I think I probably should film more of the flights that I don't normally intend on filming, because hopefully you'll agree with me. I think that was a really good one.